We've moved back to Singapore. That's right, you heard us correctly. We've actually relocated back to Singapore from Penang, Malaysia.
3 years ago in early 2022, we moved from Singapore to Penang, and in our very first YouTube video that we released in October 2022, we shared with you 5 reasons why we left Singapore, and now here we are back. In today's video, we're going to share with you 3 reasons why we are leaving Penang back to Singapore.
Hey guys, we're Fran and John, the Corporate Breakout Couple. We've been early retirees since 5 years ago in 2020. And then of course we retired first in Singapore, we relocated back to Penang. For the last 3 years, we've traveled extensively, making videos on cost of living in the different countries. We talk about early retirement, we talk about the different things that we actually see and do while in our travels, and much more. And here we are now, back in Singapore. Remember, give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let's go!
The first and most important reason is my aging parents, and they are in their mid-80s right now. So thankfully they are still healthy, but that's not something that we will both ever take for granted. And we had the good fortune to spend one entire year in 2021 with them before we moved over to Penang because of the lockdown, and those were quality moments that we spent with them in their golden years. And it is actually a luxury as well, because many of us in our 40s, we don't really have that privilege of time to spend, a lot of time, long hours with them talking. So that's something that we really appreciate, that family really comes first, and one of the key reasons why we actually gone for financial independence. And maybe let me ask you a question: how many of you would like to have your entire week free, day in day out, to spend with your parents? You can have slow walks, nice tea sessions, bring them out for meals. That's something that is very hard to come by these days.
In our very first YouTube video, we mentioned that family is one of the main reasons why we moved back to Penang, because I'm from Penang, my family's all based in Penang, and I miss them dearly. Well, it is only fitting that now we are back in Singapore, also because of family. And John's parents are aging, they're in their mid-80s, so it's not as if they're getting any younger. So we would like to be there with them every step of the way, help them through the difficult moments, and also be there to create sweet memories with them. We have had many friends over the years who are now filled with regret that they were not able to be there with their parents or for their parents during the difficult moments, and some of them were actually stuck in a different country, in a foreign country, when their parents passed away, and that regret remained with them for the rest of their lives. Now, seeing all these experiences from our friends, we know that we are in a very privileged and blessed position for us to be able to relocate here and there anytime you want, and that's the main reason why we are back in Singapore. Our second reason why we are back in Singapore actually has a lot to do with my love for Singapore. I've been living in Singapore for the last 15 years, since 2010 when I moved to Singapore, right? And I really love this country. However, I've been away from Singapore for the last 3 years, traveling the world, living in Penang, and calling Penang my home base. Now, if you have watched our very first video, we did mention that Singapore and Penang will always be our homes. So have no fear, we'll always be back to Penang. However, it is time for us to relocate back to Singapore so that I, as a permanent resident, can clock in my days in Singapore as well. What does permanent resident actually mean? It means that you're permanently residing in a particular country. For this instance, it's Singapore. Now, because I've not been permanently residing in Singapore for the last 3 years, it actually means that I'm no longer a tax resident of Singapore, which means that even if I want to pay income tax, the Singapore government is not able to collect it from me, which is why now I'm back to Singapore to fulfill my minimum requirement of 183 days in Singapore for the year 2025. So why is this important? Well, because it has got several factors linked to it. First of all, my PR is at stake if I do not fulfill the 183 days minimum requirement. Secondly, eventually when I do apply for citizenship in the future, this is a must and it is the minimum requirement. So of course, for me, I want to do whatever it takes for me to get to the status that I want to be eventually. So just a word of caution to all you permanent residents out there in Singapore. If you do intend to call Singapore your permanent home home and you're still a PR and you want to experience life in other countries for say a year, 2 years, maybe even up to 5 years, this is something that you have to think about when you're relocating and you're thinking about your next move, okay?
The third reason is Singapore is where all the action is. As a Singaporean, I'm very proud that my country has developed from strength to strength, especially in the last 10 to 20 years. And indeed, there are a lot of business opportunities, there's strong government support, especially during the pandemic days, strong healthcare system, world class. So we would like to be a part of that again now that we've shifted back. We really enjoy the efficiency of the systems, how organized they are, and it's the kind of environment that we like to continue building our business on.
We've truly enjoyed our YouTube journey over the last 3 years and meeting so many different people from all walks of life, different collaborations with the different YouTubers and whatnot. And this is what we also realized. For us to continue our YouTube journey effectively and can grow the business, we actually need to be in Singapore because most of our business collaborators, our business partners are actually based in Singapore. It actually does not make any sense at all for us to keep traveling to Singapore just for a business meeting or a business collaboration. So why not be based here instead? And that is one of the reasons why we're back in Singapore. Over the last 3 years, ever since we had the YouTube channel, we received many correspondence from people all over the world that would like to come and meet us up, have some drinks and kind of find out a little bit about ourselves and share their story as well. And we would love to meet up with all of you guys. However, a lot of them actually fly through to Singapore, which means that if we were based in Singapore, we could have met up with them. So now that we're back, hey, email us. We would love to have a coffee and meet up with you guys.
Another part of this is our community members. Most of them are based in Singapore, and because now that we are back in Singapore, we can organize more face-to-face meeting and actually have a deeper impact, and continue growing the community as well. 3 years ago, when we shifted over to Penang, we actually set out to spend quality time with friends side of the family, to travel around the world, as well as to spend time with our dog, and we shared that in our first YouTube video. Penang is really just the start, as our intention is to travel around the world.
Fast forward 3 years later, we've done all that and more. And it's really thanks to you guys, our dear subscribers and viewers, who give us your love, your support, your encouragement, so that we can continue doing all these YouTube videos. And we ain't stopping. There's actually a new chapter in store for us in Singapore, and we cannot wait. We're so excited to unveil all this with you, to work together with you, with our community, to bring you more and more exciting news and updates and more videos, of course. You see, ending the Penang chapter does not mean the end of everything. No, in fact, it is a new beginning, a new moving forward. You see, as a human, we need to keep evolving, we need to keep moving forward, we need to keep creating new things in our lives, keep learning, keep increasing our knowledge and our wisdom. And I hope that by showing you all our entire journey for the last 3 years, it can inspire you for you to do something as well for yourself. So this is it, Fran and John for our Corporate Breakout Couple. If you see us more often now in Singapore, don't be shy, come and say hi, introduce yourselves. We always love to hear stories from you guys. And thank you so much for all the wonderful support all these years. And we are now signing off. Please remember to like this video, subscribe, share this with all your friends and family, and come and join our community as well. We'll put the link in the comments below. Bye!